93.7 The Tour, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega and I like Pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach.
We are walking in like champions here on the block. We're live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. And, of course, we got some patriotic music playing because it is 4th of July weekend. If you want to stock up for your barbecue, for your get-together, there's no better place to go than the Mercato, especially today before our show ends. By the end, at 6, you got to make it out here. Buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties. That offer is good only for the duration of this show today. So make it out here by 6. Say hi to me and Strick. We're right at the entrance. I mean, you can't miss us.
Can't miss.
So come by and check out their incredible variety of meats with all types of cuts. There's some seafood as well. And On the Block with Strick and Bach is sponsored by the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese, where we're at today. So that makes quite a bit of sense. Strick, how is your 4th of July plans coming together? Are you pretty excited to be back in Nebraska, or are you going to travel out of the state again to get some 4th of July done?
Am I a Husker or am I a Husker?
I think you're a Husker.
I think I'm a Husker.
I think so.
So I bleed red. One of my favorite guys of all time is Terrence Badgett, my Husker roommate. And yeah, I mean, he wore red actually in high school. So he got a chance to just kind of just cross over. But I wore a little bit something different. But nonetheless, I bleed red. We had a good conversation, and I think we're going to do a little bit of friendly hanging out and reconnecting and bonding as we always do, and got off the phone with my other guy, Cluster. Who's another red guy. Yeah. He'll probably do some cooking and some barbecuing. And I came in here to the Mercato, I would say 2 days ago. And I bought one of them fat, juicy New York strips. I'm talking about the one that's like,
they are fat and juicy.
Super thick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put that to the grill. I did get a couple of burgers, but now that the deal is on, the buy one, get one free of the Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties, I'm on it.
I'll get a few more.
And we're going to, sip on a little bit of Myers Cork and Bottle and have a good time.
Are you one to buy fireworks, or do you let somebody else buy?
Yeah, nah. Stricky don't mess with the fire. I don't play with fire. It's just it's like, listen, real talk. When that happened with
Jason
Pierre-Paul. Ever since then, I really said I ain't touching nothing firework related. I'm gonna let the pros do what they do. Go down there and hang out at the Salt Dog Stadium and allow them to shoot them up in the stadium air and
take the risk.
Let the risk go there. Then I've seen some debacles where like I think one time out in Hudson, somebody accidentally dropped something or dropped one, and it started just kind of going off on the boat and all. Pros.
I mean, it is a celebration, and I hope everybody has fun with it. But it's probably a busy night for the old ambulances.
Yeah, it can be dangerous. It can be really dangerous. And then you have everybody wanting to be Jackass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So everybody's trying to do their own form of Jackass, and
hopefully
they say that for a reason.
But
because
they've done a few of those.
They got a few of those. Yeah, where they well, we're not going to talk about it. This is a family show.
That's right.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's a good weekend. I am actually kind of glad that I'm back in Nebraska for the 4th of July. Normally in a lot of other places that I normally am, but it's good to be here for this 4th of July. I would love to see a game.
I don't know if this is true. You guys should let us know on the text line 402-464-5685. Is it just me, or is 4th of July like gone bonanza the last couple of years? It seems like since, obviously the pandemic and stuff, and everybody was kind of sheltered in, and, nobody went out to have too much fun. And then like the 4th of July that year was just crazy. It was like you're in Warfield, in my neighborhood. It felt like it was just like a war zone because you would just hear massive bangs left and right. And I don't think it's died down since then. It feels like over the last couple of years, post-pandemic, 4th of July has turned up a notch. That's at least my belief.
Yeah,
at least in Nebraska.
I can see that. I can see that. I've noticed that. Yeah, it's been pretty hectic. I think it's good though that families and friends and what I'm seeing too is neighborhoods are kind of starting to get together a little bit different than usual. A lot of stuff got very independent. It got kind of isolated, and you were kind of doing your solo thing, and now it seems like neighborhoods are kind of starting to get together and put together these little packages and do some fun things with their fireworks. So yeah, man, it's gonna be good.
I like the community get-togethers. That's really where I go because they've got a different budget than everybody. Everybody has like a cousin or a second cousin or a second cousin's friend or something, where you get the big get-together and they spend like thousands of dollars on fireworks. Well, you don't have to know anybody. You could just you can go to one of those community events and they'll have one of the biggest shows of the year. But everybody likes to light it themselves. I've kind of grown out of that, I suppose.
No, so look. If you've seen the movie, I want to say it's called Harlem Nights. You may want to check it out.
Look at that one, yeah.
Harlem Nights, it had Eddie Murphy in it. It had Richard Pryor, just classic comedians. It had Red Fox, just some of the classic comedians, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, the reason I'm saying that is when you said that, I thought of the reference that the budgets are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So there's a scene in there where it had Arsenio Hall too. So it had a scene in there where Arsenio Hall and them, they come out with these big machine guns and, Eddie Murphy had killed his brother or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to get Eddie Murphy and they're shooting their guns. The big, the ones with the, what do they used to call them?
I don't know.
The big ones with the big drum. And they used to call it Tommy gun.
Okay, yeah.
The Tommy gun.
Those are nothing to be played with.
Yeah, they were shooting their Tommy guns, and then after they were finished shooting, there would be this other guy with them that would go, bang, bang, and then they would shoot their big guns, and then after they were finished, he would go, bang, with the little. Yeah. He said, "Mother, you stop shooting that little thing."
Yeah.
And that's what I think about when you talk about the communities, right? The communities are going to give you the big, grandiose, it's going to spit them out. And then all of a sudden you come out there with your little one, bang, little pop. All these big shows that you could have. Now you got the little pop.
Like, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought about when I saw that.
When I'm going to actually come out, there's going to be bang, bang. And then I'm going to come out and light one of those snakes up and go, or a smoke
the
bomb.
Fizzles.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite firework? Do you have one? If you
listen,
were to light
I told you,
No?
I don't even know the names.
Bottle
I
rockets?
don't want to know the names. The closest thing I think again to fight. Now we used to do it when we were kids. We had the little, the little poppers. We throw them out, when we were young. But
poppers, yeah, those are fun.
But the closest I got, I think, were those streamers. You light them and they just go, and you just kind of go.
Oh yeah.
You wave them around a little bit, and then they fade out.
Yeah.
Right in your hand. You got enough distance in there that there's not going to be anything that gets to my fingers. I'm good.
That's fair enough. Yeah, everybody keep it safe out there on the 4th of July, and try to. I mean, but it is especially I've got a dilemma here. So my brother left some of his fireworks from last year at my house.
Uh-oh.
He probably shouldn't use year-old fireworks, I guess. Wicks might go too fast, don't you think?
It's risky business when you start playing with ones that you're not familiar with, you don't know.
Or maybe those are like 2 years old. I don't know how long he had those.
Yeah. How much they're gonna pop? Yeah, you just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's dangerous.
Maybe I'll put them all in a pile and throw a wick in there.
And let them go off. Yeah.
See if that works.
Put them in a drum.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do like the water ones that you can put in the buckets. Those are pretty cool too. So it'll be a lot of fun. I think you do a pretty decent job. I actually don't know. I haven't been to the fireworks stands. I know a lot of times you have to go outside of Nebraska to get it done. But maybe I don't know. Maybe there's somebody was telling me you can get like bottle rockets and different stuff that you haven't been able to get in the past here now in Lincoln in Nebraska. Bubba says Bach, year old are still good. Okay. If Bubba says it, I believe.
If someone named Bubba says it, you're good.
He knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. And so if I blow off my hand or something too quick because my year-old fireworks, I'll just blame Bubba. I say Bubba said that I could do this, so that's fair enough. Speaking of fireworks, it's been quite a few days with conference realignment. Now that we're almost, I guess 24 hours passed. And by the way, it was quick. Like the rumors started, and then by the evening, Big Ten's like, yeah, they're on board. So they didn't let that stick around for too long.
Yeah, they didn't let that linger.
Yeah. Do you still kind of have an aftershock of UCLA and USC coming to the Big Ten? It's so like part of me is excited and it's a great move for the Big Ten, and then part of me dies inside because college sports as we know it is going to be different.
It's going to be different, Bach. I really do. I think what's funny to me about it is the memes.
Yeah.
That people are just kind of coming up with, right?
Yeah.
So I'm seeing memes like you're seeing Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie,
Yeah.
and they're like Big Ten. They're like UCLA and USC coming to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And that was when they took the picture with the pitchfork. And so
Yeah.
you had the California vibe with the country
They have
vibe.
some show where they had like stuck those two
Yeah.
Hollywood types on a farm like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, that was So they were showing these different memes, and it's going to change the dynamic because you really do have different cultures that are colliding. The Rust Belt, you're having the Midwestern flavor, the hometown, the country, families and unity, and you have these different elements, and then you have West Coast flavor.
Oh yeah.
And Venice Beach and Manhattan Beach, and you have all these different kind of flows, and Rodeo Drive, and you have that coming into the Midwest. And I think there's going to be some unique rivalries. Obviously, you've got UCLA and USC as a rivalry, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I think there's going to be some people that are going to want to give it to them. Especially. Oklahoma wishes they probably could have been in right now. All the fans were like, "Dang, we should have went to the Big Ten. we might have been able to clip Lincoln Riley." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. What fascinates me, Bach, and I want you to think, kind of tap into this, is how did it derive? Like who's sitting there? What type of conversations is USC and UCLA having, their presidents and faculty or staff and whatever at those levels, regents or whatever? What type of conversations are they having that sets that in motion?
Well, I think it's again, for a lot of people, it's coming down to the money. I think that these past contracts, schools or future contracts, this Big Ten schools are going to be making like $80 million off of it, and per year.
I heard it's like 100.
Yeah, it's going to be with the new contract. It's going to move up.
Yeah.
But the Pac-12 was making like $30 million per school. So I mean, you're talking about really being left behind from the money that you might as well jump in and grab, and then that takes care of the travel costs that you're so worried about. Is doubling the annual TV rights deal.
So my thing then, quick question, right there, stay there. My thing is, does it also add other elements that you normally get out there? For example, i.e., does now Midwestern flavor start men's volleyball?
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like things that, polo.
Yeah.
Does it add other elements to your college that you probably wouldn't have by having these type of, because they have different elements in their, structure. Does it add that to it?
We might see it. And for what it's worth, too, you have to remember, they're on the East Coast, too. I mean, the Big Ten's on the East Coast, so it's not just Midwestern.
Right.
I mean, this is, like you said, with
Coast
different cultures.
Yeah.
East Coast is a completely different culture than the West Coast and the Midwest, and you've kind of got it all there. And I was wondering, somebody was kind of mocking me on the text line, but I was wondering if you don't go to the South and grab somebody, because there's all this talk about Oregon and Stanford are supposedly in wait to see if Notre Dame.
Oregon and Stanford or
Oregon and Washington.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah. Oregon and Washington are kind of waiting to see because they want to join the Big Ten now because they see what the future is. The Pac-12's in shambles.
So 20 teams basically is what we're looking at, somewhere around that element.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be if you're adding four, basically 4 more. Okay, go ahead.
So, but they're waiting for Notre Dame. If I'm the Big Ten and simply for competitive sake, I would do everything I can to expand the footprint further and get to the South. And I understand that it's going to be incredibly difficult because obviously the Southern footprint is still there within the SEC. If they grab Clemson and Florida State and those other teams from the ACC, Miami, those big brands, it makes sense to stay in the SEC. But what I'm saying is not competitively with the TV rights deals, which is what the Big Ten and SEC can combat each other with. But on the field, you've had a complete takeover from the South. Most of it being SEC schools, but when the SEC is not winning, it's Clemson, it's Florida State. Now that they grabbed Texas and Oklahoma, it's been those teams. Since Nebraska last won in 1998, only USC and Ohio State, I believe, outside of the Southern footprint, have won a national title. So I understand it would be completely difficult to get a team out of the South. And that's why I think maybe even go to kind of that next realm. If you can't get Florida State, you can't get Miami, maybe you get Georgia Tech or Houston and just kind of pitch them, hey, you can be our Southern team that expands our footprint and is able to recruit from the South in a way that the rest of our schools aren't able to. And maybe that can give you the advantage instead of joining the SEC and then you're just one of, whatever it is going to be, 18 or 20 teams that is in the Southern footprint and competing with each other for the same recruits. Maybe at Texas Tech, somebody points out the text line, something like that.
What about Virginia?
TCU,
Is Virginia not Southern? Not Southern enough?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Because they could kind of fit where you get a little combination of both there. Georgia Tech is interesting. I mean, it's not perennial, but it's interesting. But it puts you in there. Yeah, it puts you in there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you're going to be able to get a Florida State or a Miami.
Because you're not getting South Carolina to leave, even though they're going to drop to the bottom of the SEC like quickly.
Now, how crazy would that be if the Big Ten nabbed an SEC school?
That would be
that wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make sense,
but it would be maybe down the line.
But North Carolina possibly.
Like yeah, that's an ACC school.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that could be a significant grab because you're getting. Think about the matchups that come out of a North Carolina with. Because right now, so here's the awesome thing about it. They've already really kind of been doing it, right? The ACC Big Ten Challenge. Yeah, they've
got familiarity.
So they've already kind of been doing it, and nabbing someone like an NC in North Carolina or an NC State and implementing them into your basketball structures where. Those are many March Madnesses that are going on right internal, and it gives you a little bit more power. I just don't see how you can't grab Kansas in that as well. If they're left out there, I think you got to get them.
Well, and it depends. I mean, it seems like the basketball is being left behind in all this, and certainly every sport is. I mean, this is all based on football positioning and jockeying for the money. That's where the biggest money is.
That's where the biggest money.
So that's where it is. But it's leaving behind in it's like UConn. I mean, remember when UConn won a national title in the American? Like, it didn't really make any sense. The American Conference isn't going, yeah, we're the best. It was just kind of like, well, we rented UConn. And that's just kind of where you're headed toward basketball is if some of these, if you do have the two major conferences and then Duke and North Carolina, and Kansas and UConn and all these traditional blue bloods and the big or in basketball are just kind of left in these other, conferences. It might be a thing where similar to the Big East in basketball, you might have to completely change your mind for what is a power conference once the football season turns over to basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's intriguing. It's intriguing, and like you're saying, you can't take so much unless you super conference, unless you literally take as we spoke of that everybody's on a grab and snatch and grab where you're basically having an NFC and an AFC.
Oh yeah.
That if you're going to do that, and then you just have those second tiers that just kind of jump in and get in where they fit in after that. You snatch and grab and get as much as you can and create an AFC, NFC.
Well, and the weird thing about it is the distinction between that is that it's not like the AFC teams are bidding to get to the NFC for a better TV contract.
Right.
That's what's going on still between the SEC and the Big Ten, and the future of it I see is playing out that way. That's why I was saying earlier, maybe you should like come together as a league, and then the jockeying for position of who's going to the Big Ten and who's going to the SEC matters less. You get one massive TV contract for your whole league, and then start making it make sense again geographically based on the pods, or when you think about kind of the AFC East, that sort of idea, moving into college football. But I don't know how long that's going to take. Is the Big Ten and SEC going to have the are they going to think that far ahead? They also have there is these other conferences at play that don't just want to whim over and die, that are poaching each other now. The Big 12 teams are poaching the Pac-12 teams. The Pac-12 teams are poaching the Big 12 teams. We don't know which conference is going to eat each other there. But the real idea is that either of them, if they ever get an invite to the Big Ten or the SEC, they're out.
They're gone.
So there's no conference stability whatsoever, regardless of whatever conference wins that one. So it's kind of
and it can only continue to expand.
Right.
Like you can only get, it's like right now they're munching on appetizers, but when they want to eat the big steak, they're going to come to the Mercato and
that's right
and eat it.
Get the best steak in
Get the best steak in the house. But that's what's going to end up happening. It's just going to be a continuous year by year. The money's going to continue to be significant. Depending on how long they extend the deal would determine when the next poach happens, probably, but the discussions will begin probably halfway mark before that. And then they're going to be monitoring who's popping up, who's fizzling out, who's hot and who's not. So I think you're going to get a lot of that. That's going to be happening. But unfortunately, it's moving in that direction, and it's moving very fast back.
Yeah, it's very, very fast paced. I don't know if we're ever going to see a 16-team conference, which is where the Big Ten and the SEC currently are. Maybe we will. And the other kind of part of it is that this happens in phases as they're all, kind of tied to these contracts. Are we going to have to know that it's headed toward 2 major conferences and go through 6-7 years of just getting there and awkwardly being in these other conferences? That's certainly what it looks like it's going to happen, at least for the next few years, which I will cling to closely because it is the last semblance of college football as we know it. As the changes happen every year, will keep us all on our feet. At least we'll definitely.
It will, and somebody does. I mean, people are making note too that that's the issue with basketball and the football situation, and how the basketball right now is kind of taking the slighted side of it. And the reason being is you can't lose. Like, could you imagine the Big Ten poaching North Carolina but not getting Duke?
Yeah,
that just, I mean, it just don't seem like that would make sense, right?
Right.
So,
but how much value is there in Duke football?
See, that's what I'm saying, and that's the part that I'm sure that they're freaking pulling their hair out, and they're pulling hair that like mine that they don't have. They're just pulling brain because it's crazy to really think about, but it's something that you have to enter into the whatever your metrics are of trying to figure this whole thing out, because you got to think about that thing too.
Yeah, and that's why I say, I mean, the breakaway from the NCAA may be inevitable, maybe it's not, but I really think that they should separate football from these other sports because, one, it's tumbling basketball. It's going to be just some sort of Frankenstein, outline of whatever football puts together at this point. And it's just going to change what we know as it. And then as far as the non-revenue sports, that's just a lot. Why not play regionally? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Nebraska to travel to Rutgers and to UCLA,
right?
Year in and year out, rather than play Kansas State and Kansas. So it's just something that I think that has to be considered. Hasn't really been at this point because the structure has been in place for so long. It's kind of grandfathered in. But maybe football as a league is just so big that we should almost separate it from the other sports, and then kind of have your different conferences the other way. But that's not the way that it's going now. I don't know if that's down the line, but that would make some sense to me.
Yeah.
We are the On the Block. We're live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese out here at 84th and Havelock. You're going to want to get out here. BOGO, buy one, get one on Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties. So that's buy one, get one free. Steakhouse
and they're fat
hamburger patties. They're fat. They're delicious.
Juicy.
And that offer is only good for the duration of the show. So make it out here before 6, before Strick and I head out the building, and you can get that deal. Come by and check out their incredible variety of meats, all types of cuts, plus there's some seafood as well. On the Block with Strick and Bach is sponsored by the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese, where we're at today. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, a few trades in the NBA, a lot of other guys get in the bag. We'll talk about NBA free agency and trades coming up next year on the Block on 93.7 The Ticket.
There's nothing quite like the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercato offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercato serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercato today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Hey, it's Kinsey Nicholas from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice or when I'm working out, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They're experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, smoke detectors, lighting, and ceiling fans, and more. They take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 and learn more at highelectric.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Empire Fence and Netting in Waverly is now hiring for several positions. They're looking for a fence installer for both commercial and residential, for local projects, and ones that require travel. They also have openings for operators, dirt work, welding positions, and applicants with CDLs are very desirable. If you're looking for a locally operated business that provides excellent work for customers and great benefits and care for its employees, email info@empire-fence.com or give them a call at 402-682-7658. Empire Fence and Netting.
The new 18-hole course is now open at Adventure Golf Center. You knew them before for their 36 holes, and now experience a brand new style of miniature golf with par 3s, 4s, and 5s. It's a new concept to the Midwest with holes longer than before and unique hazards throughout the course. And it's fun for golfers of all ages and skill levels. Plus, there's a bar on the course that serves alcohol. Try the new 18-hole course today at Adventure Golf Center at 56th and Old Cheney.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for Hitting the Hardwood with Strick here on the block. We are live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. We got a good buy one, get one free deal on Steakhouse Blend hamburger parties here out at the Mercado. Offer is good until 6 when our show ends today. So make it on out here. Again, 84th and Havelock's where you want to be to stock up for what should be a fun weekend. If you got a barbecue, a grill, a get-together, this is where you should be to really impress everybody at the barbecue. Come by and check out their incredible variety of meats with all types of cuts. Plus, there's some seafood as well. On the Block with Strickenbach is sponsored by the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese every day. So we like to make it out here on occasion and stock up ourselves and try to get you guys a little bit of a deal as well. Nate, do we have the Brian Windhorse bite pulled up?
I can take a look and check it out.
Yeah, see, it's in the On the Block folder, so that's where we'd want to go. Brian Windhorse was teasing maybe something that happened later in the day, but it was kind of funny because he was on with ESPN early, obviously an ESPN personality who's been on these Ticket Airwaves. Actually lives in Omaha. Was friends with Brett Kane back when he was here, so that was always fun to be able to talk to him. But he was like trying to lead the rest of the personalities on set there to the direction, and it was impossible, I think, for them to get to it. It was like when your teacher is trying to get an answer out of you and really trying to, and everybody in the class just going, I'm not following. Another example would be, it's like when DP knows something and he won't say it, but he's trying to lead you there. He does it a lot in radio and when I co-host with him, and usually I get there, usually I can pick up on what he's saying, and then there's other times I just go, you know what, DP, you might have to spell this one out for me because I'm missing it. But Brian Windhorse went on a little bit of a 2-minute tirade that really, I think, confused more people than anything. I shouldn't call it a tirade, but a 2-minute spiel there that confused people more than anything. Do we have that pulled up, Nate?
Yeah, you want me to play the whole thing?
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
All right, sounds good.
And Strick will see. You will see what you think Brian Windhorse is saying by the end of this.
I'm going to tell you something happened yesterday. The league executives were wondering what the heck it means. And it happened within 5 minutes. In fact, Adrian, the tweet right before, Adrian tweeted about Durant. He tweeted something else. There's a trade yesterday between the Utah Jazz and the Brooklyn Nets. It's a very strange trade. Very strange trade. You really have to be a Jazz or a Nets fan to even know what I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
I don't even know if
I'm on
you
the
guys
edge
know
of my
about
seat.
that.
I have notifications for
They
him, but I don't
traded
do this.
Royce O'Neal, who is a role-playing three-point defensive shooter, to Brooklyn for a future first-round draft pick. And so you're going, well, what do you care about Royce O'Neal? Why does that matter? Why would the Jazz do that? Why would the Jazz, who have 2 stars on their roster, take a player who's one of their starters and best defensive players and trade him in a salary dumping move? Why would they do that?
Open up space to try to land Kevin?
No.
Part of a 3-team trade.
You say, why did Quinn Snyder walk away from that job?
Okay.
And you say, when Danny Ainge, last time he hired a coach, it was Brad Stevens.
Right.
What happened that same year? What did he do? When he hired this young coach who never coached the NBA before, and he gave him a long contract, gave Brad Stevens a 6-year contract. Will Hardy, who they just hired, who was, going to potentially be a great young coach, they gave him a 5-year contract. Very rare for a first-time head coach to get a 5-year contract. Why? What's going on in Utah?
What's going on?
And that's what people in the league are watching right now.
Okay.
What's going on in Utah?
Okay.
And so I think the Brooklyn Nets and Phoenix Suns need to find out what's going on in Utah as well. Because what else happened that first year that Brad Stevens got hired? Danny Ainge traded Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce.
To the Brooklyn Nets.
So that trade, that Royce Young trade yesterday,
Okay.
was a very strange trade.
You could tell the other that was Brian Windhorse on ESPN. You could tell the other pundits were just as confused as maybe a lot of other people out there. Did you come to a conclusion with what Brian Windhorse was trying to point out without saying it?
Okay, so it sounds to me as if he's trying to paint a correlation between the basic start over or the reset of Boston and tie it to the same thing with regards to Utah, except he's using Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert in the same way that he's using Paul Pierce and
Kevin
Garnett.
Yeah.
He's unsure about direction to where they're going, so he's really trying not to lock himself into a corner because there's a potential tie to the Brooklyn, and it's by Royce, but he can't really say about Kevin. So he's trying to, like, it sounds like he's trying to just throw a lot of banter out, but still tie the correlation in to a new coach, tenure of coach, and all these other things. And it's just not coming together. It's not meeting the end of the road. It's like building a bridge to nowhere, right? That's what it just seemed like was going on. But I don't personally see the correlation. It doesn't match to me. It just seems like he's trying to put something together and sound deep, but
yeah, I think he was trying to get. I think you're right. I think that what he was trying to get to is correlate Danny Ainge, maybe signifying a rebuild in Utah, similar to what he did in Boston there when he hired his new coach. And so I think that's where he was trying to lead him to, but they were not.
But he couldn't.
They were not following.
He couldn't do it because it really was no tie.
Right.
I
think the Royce O'Neal mention kind of threw him off. Like, wait,
where were you?
Yeah.
But he was trying to do that as if it was the Brooklyn Nets, as if Brooklyn somehow has the draw of whatever the resets happen. It seems to go to the Northeast, and it's in that Brooklyn area. But the Royce O'Neal, it just didn't. I still lost on that one. I don't know. That was
people off. Well, I think I think what he's trying to saying is look at Utah in a rebuild, new coach. Quinn Snyder walks out, and maybe we saw that later in the day with what transpired. Ultimately, Rudy Gobert being traded to the Timberwolves in exchange for Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Walker Kessler, their latest first-round draft pick, Jared Vanderbilt, and 4 first-round picks, all for Rudy Gobert.
So is he trying to say? But real quick, is he trying to say that Utah is going to become the new Boston?
I think that I would watch out for it, and I would watch out, like right here. It seems like with that deal, it seems like Utah got a lot there, didn't they? This was similar to what happened in Boston when they got rid of their 2 stars, and it took a while. They still had Rondo, but he got hurt later, so that kind of slowed down the rebuild. And then they kind of had the Isaiah Thomas years, so all the way eventually to using those original draft picks that they had to get Jaylen Brown
and then signed Gordon
and
Hayward
Jason Tatum. Yeah, Gordon Hayward didn't work. Kyrie Irving didn't work. They had some bumps in the road, but with those draft picks, they signed Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which obviously led them to the finals this past year.
So that's what he's saying. The accumulation of the first round picks. But that's the thing.
I think he's saying watch out for Trader Danny. Is what he's saying.
But here's the thing I see is the value of those picks. Because when you're a non-destination city, you have to figure out a way to accumulate assets because you're not going. I promise you, there's not anybody looking to go to Utah. It's just
or Minnesota in this,
even Minnesota. I mean, it doesn't.
But you're
matter.
right, Utah on the other.
Yeah, you're not. So you have to figure out a way to keep your talent, i.e., Giannis Antetokounmpo up in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You've got to
you
do
everything.
you're not
getting
him in free agency, and you've got to make him fall in love with the community and want to stay. And they gave it a good shot. They gave it a good run. Mitchell and that crew, and had success. I mean, they were at the top of the West
all the time,
and at the top tier of the West. Just couldn't get over the hump. But now, once you see that the experiment is no longer working, then you have to figure out how to acquire more assets. You're not going to be. Brooklyn can probably still pull it off. I don't know if New York. I think New York is kind of falling off the wagon. I don't think they have the means to do though. But when you're looking at the free agency market right now, you're seeing a lot of people keeping their high tier talent.
Oh yeah, they are.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Or their valuable talent, i.e., Golden State keeping Kevon Looney because he's
Kevon Looney signed elsewhere, didn't he?
No, I think he re-signed with Golden State, didn't he?
I think he got
Warriors. They agreed to a 3-year, 25.5.
Yeah, I thought he saw.
Yeah,
he did, didn't he? That's interesting.
Zach LaVine, obviously, because Zach LaVine was pulling the football move that's been going on, where you're kind of feeling like you're about to make an exit strategy, and you get them to buy into keeping you on board.
There's just been a lot of between, I think it was Karl Anthony Towns, I think got a new deal. Nikola Jokic got the biggest deal in NBA history. Like you mentioned, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal. There's a lot of stars that are getting the bag and staying in place, which is interesting for this free agency. It hasn't made as big of a move. There's been a few trades today that I want to go through, and one of them will stay with that Gobert trade. Because like you said, these are small market teams. Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, these are, just kind of throw-ins. But to get Walker Kessler and 4 first-round picks for the rebuild for Utah, do you think that also means resetting the clock on Donovan? Do you think that they will trade Donovan Mitchell as well, or is he young enough as opposed to Gobert to try to keep him as part of your rebuild?
You need good point guard play. So you're probably looking to keep him and evaluate. You're probably having conversations with him to determine whether or not what is coming he's happy with, what the future and how near the future holds. How far is he away from the next one? Can we make him happy enough to want to stay there? So those are all things that are going to be put into place. But then you're getting a solid defensive guy, a guy that you can put beside him that can take some of the defensive pressure, allow him a little bit of freedom of space to do what he does well without having to take on a lot of that with Patrick Beverley, shooters and Kessler, and, just guys around you. Malik Beasley, a hard-nosed guy who can get buckets when you need to as well at the 3 position. So yeah, you're giving them some solid pieces to be able to still build with, without and garnering some great talent there. The one that's throwing me for the loop though, Bach, and I'm going to throw this one to you, is do we see this playing out in similar context with Zion Williamson?
Also got the bag, yeah.
Huge bag, and yes, put up good numbers early, but we haven't seen him in 2.
Right.
So is that a small market win for them? Is it banking? Yeah, go ahead.
It might destroy their franchise for the future. Yeah.
Talk to me.
Well, I think you have to do it though, because like you said, it's the small market. You're not getting anybody to flood to New Orleans, and they've already lost. They had this in Anthony Davis. They want to keep their next Anthony Davis at this point and build around him. Certainly, health concerns into the future. When he can play, he's a walking double-double, but. I don't know. I mean, I think they have had to do it. I was a little bit surprised to see it though, because he's just been missing so much over the last couple of years. But
I was surprised to see it. But
also
I understand
the fact that they actually played pretty well and got in the playoffs. They're not contending, but they're like that bottom
they're right
level
there.
of the West. Yeah.
And so it's a great risk reward possibly option that you throw out into that. I think one of the biggest steals, potentially risk reward steals, and you can get him at that price, with John Wall signing for $13 million.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great win for the Clippers. Now, hopefully you're getting a fully healthy Kawhi Leonard back. George now, with some of the ups and downs with some injuries, he's getting a full offseason to be able to heal. And then you throw Wall into the mix. So you've got a bunch of
banged up guys.
Banged up Warriors.
Yeah.
Banged up Warriors. You got a bunch of banged up Warriors that you're hoping that the reward comes forth out of it. But they're in a tough Western Conference. I mean, the Western Conference isn't getting no easier, especially with Golden State doing what they've done. Dallas is emerging. If they can, make some strides in what they need to build, signing the big fella out of Houston, a stretch shoot, that's what they needed. I mean, they needed somebody that can give production at the center position. And that's what they're getting. So there's still some things out there, Bach, that's pretty interesting in that Western Conference.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's the other question. What does that say for Portland? What happens with Dame Lillard?
Yeah. They just resigned Nurkic to a long deal. I don't know. If I'm Dame,
I'm out.
I'm
looking for the next thing
he's
smoking.
Done as much as he can. And that's what makes Bradley Beal signing interesting too, is Washington just doesn't really have a whole lot moving in the right direction outside of Beal.
Yeah.
Is it a sign-in trade? Is he just, because this is his 3rd contract, your big money-making contract, your 2nd contract where you kind of hit that next level.
Yeah.
Obviously there's still more money to be made with the Wizards, but he's getting to that age where you might want to start competing. You've made the bank. Maybe you want to start winning. We'll kind of see how that plays out. We'll continue this NBA free agency discussion as I still want to ask Strick how Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns fit. Is a Twin Tower duo possible in the modern age of basketball. Also, the Celtics got their playmaking point guard and Malcolm Brogdon for relatively cheap. So we'll talk about that too. Coming up next, also, caller number 3 right now will win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. We're on the road, so we can't do shootout with Strick. So we still play for the people. We still give away $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. So caller number 3, 402-464-5685. Gets $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. One final reminder before we go here for this break. We are live at the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. We got a buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties. You got about an hour and 10 minutes to get out here to cash in on that opportunity and be the star of your 4th of July barbecue weekend. So come out here, say hi to us, do that. We'll be right back around the corner with some more NBA talk leading us into the block party here on the block from the live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese. We'll be right back.
Don't wait for the Lincoln fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff now at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker fireworks in downtown Roca.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
In your busy life, very little is free, but your next home might be a bit less than you think with a free appraisal from Security First Bank. Free home appraisals from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Offer valid through December 31st, 2022 on secondary market new home purchase loans only. One free appraisal per transaction. Appraisals paid for by lender at closing. Subject to lender qualifications. See lender for details. NMLS number 505011.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
The new 18-hole course is now open at Adventure Golf Center. You knew them before for their 36 holes, and now experience a brand new style of miniature golf with par 3s, 4s, and 5s. It's a new concept to the Midwest with holes longer than before and unique hazards throughout the course. And it's fun for golfers of all ages and skill levels. Plus, there's a bar on the course that serves alcohol. Try the new 18-hole course today at Adventure Golf Center at 56th and Old Cheney.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
There's nothing quite like the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercato offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercato serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercato today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
The Lincoln forecast today, we'll see a chance of scattered showers and storms throughout the day. Highs a little bit cooler, around 82. Tonight, see another chance of scattered showers and storms with a low of around 65. And tomorrow, more scattered showers and storms return to the area. We'll see a high of around 84. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckner for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
We are going to pass on Shootout with Strick as we've already given away the $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. But we still love the open, so we got to hear a little bit of Triple H theme song coming in there. But we will continue our talk here. Hopefully, we did have a winner. Nate, did we have a winner? Caller number 3 already call in.
We did.
All right, we need to make sure that we're a show for the people, so we want to make sure one of our people is walking away with some chicken. We also want to make sure you guys are walking away with Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties, and able to do that, you got to make it out to the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese here at 84th and Havelock. It's buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties. They are delicious, and they will have you being the talk of your get-together here on the 4th of July. Offers only good until the show ends today, so you got about an hour to make it out here at 84th and Havelock, the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese. For what it's worth, if you don't and you can't make it out here for the buy one, get one, you should still come out here whenever you can, because it's the best meat in the state, and we love being out here. We're sponsored by the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese every day, and we make it out here from time to time just to breathe in the air, just to get a little bit.
Come out here to buy the summer sausage.
That's right. Yeah,
and the beef bacon. Yeah, I come out here to get it.
You just did, and you're probably leaving with another bag today. So
I think I will.
We'll see how that goes. I wanted to wrap up some things. So, I think we'll continue talking free agency as we go into the block party as well. But I did want to ask you how you see a Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns fit together on the court. Obviously, you still have D'Angelo Russell. You still have Ant out there. So they've got some other guys that can facilitate and get a bucket of their own there. So, the team's coming together well. And they're obviously in win-now mode. They gave 4 draft picks away along with Walker Kessler, who they just drafted to Utah, and able to get Rudy Gobert. But do you see Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns working together? 2 big men, different styles of games, but it's not really a big men's league anymore.
So one of the issues that Minnesota has had is that as a whole, it's been defense. There's been a hole in their defense. Like Karl Anthony Towns isn't the most fleet of foot. Let's just be honest about that. He has got good timing at the basket, and he does try to implement shot blocking, and he's effective at times, right? But you're looking for him to be a scorer. But one of the good things about him that he has developed is a consistent stretch game, even better than Jokic to me. We've talked about some of those comparisons, but the man won the 3-point shooting contest. Come on, bro. Let's just be honest about it. He can stroke. So at the end of the day, to get a rim protector, I just don't know at that bag, that amount of Lucci, that he's
picks is a lot.
Yeah, that he's giving you
and then the money.
The money and the picks and all that you had to give up for him. He's a mainstay now. He's going to finish it out there. Their offense, to me, doesn't seem to be one that is similar to like Dallas, that will require a little bit more spacing. He can get around the basket and be drop-off points and take advantage of that. But I think it was more of a mainstay Mutombo-ish style of defense that they're trying to create there, that they lost games in the playoffs because they couldn't get stops.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like to me. And maybe that's that move. Who's out there? Like, really, who out there can you get that can be Mutombo-ish in his style? Who is a defensive player of the year? Who is someone that can give you that rim protection and take care of the paint for you in that aspect? Who else is out there?
Nobody better than the Central Tower. So that's definitely something they've got going for them. Too bad they couldn't have kept Patrick Beverley out there for that defense as well. But they've got the protection on the back end now. So I think either way, they're in win now mode, which is nice to see from the Timberwolves because you just haven't seen them compete too much. That's why it was such a big deal to get in the playoffs and win those play-in games. So that will be fun to see the Timberwolves back in action. They got one of my favorite throwback uniforms.
They had to do something. They had to figure out a way to get out, because otherwise you end up being like the Spurs, right? Mm-hmm. The Spurs continuously were not good enough, but on the verge, and you're teetering on that 9, 10, 8 spot for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
kind of the Rudy Gay, LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan Spurs,
You know what I'm saying? Right. So what you're trying not to do is, Minnesota probably saw the writing on the wall. We're not a destination. It's cold as.
Yeah.
I thought this brick in Nebraska. It is super brick out there in Minnesota. So that is not a destination place. And therefore, they saw the writing on the wall. We're going to either teeter right here on this spot, this play-in spot, or we need to do some form of upgrade. And defense seems to be an area of lacking for us in that area. So.
And I mean, like I said, I mean, that's a pretty good core they got together. So it's going to be exciting to see them moving from here on out. I wouldn't necessarily usually think of Rudy Gobert as I mean, if you're having the super teams, I don't know if he's part of your big three to win it, but we've seen this last couple of years, it's not taking super teams to win it. And then the other thing is, I don't even know if he's your big three. He's just at least on defense, that rim protector. So that's certainly interesting. I want to take a quick break. Again, we're live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. Buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend Hamburger Patties for another hour. Come on, visit us, say hi, and get that awesome deal. It is time for the block party. It is Friday. We're moving into the 4th of July weekend. Things couldn't get a whole lot better. So we'll be back with the block party coming up next year on the block, live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese. We'll be right back.
There's nothing quite like the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercato offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercato serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercato today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
In your busy life, very little is free, but your next home might be a bit less than you think with a free appraisal from Security First Bank. Free home appraisals from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Offer valid through December 31st, 2022 on secondary market new home purchase loans only. One free appraisal per transaction. Appraisals paid for by lender at closing. Subject to lender qualifications. See lender for details. NMLS number 505011.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. We are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
The Salt Dogs are back with the best lineup for a night out in Lincoln, including Fireworks Fridays. Every weekend homestand at Haymarket Park begins with baseball and post-game fireworks set to your favorite music. Baseball, a big light show, and the best view in town. There's no better place to be on a summer night in Lincoln. Lead off your weekend the right way with Fireworks Fridays. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
On Time Transport in Lincoln says, stay safe this Independence Day by keeping parties off of our roads. Avoid talking, texting, and speeding. And don't forget, buzz driving is still driving under the influence and can lead to trouble or grief. This safety message from On Time Transport. For more information, call 402-328-9082 or visit them online at ottlincoln.com. On Time Transport, reminding you that when you're behind the wheel, let's give our truckers some room on the road and have a safe, happy July 4th holiday.
The new 18-hole course is now open at Adventure Golf Center. You knew them before for their 36 holes, and now experience a brand new style of miniature golf with par 3s, 4s, and 5s. It's a new concept to the Midwest with holes longer than before and unique hazards throughout the course. And it's fun for golfers of all ages and skill levels. Plus, there's a bar on the course that serves alcohol. Try the new 18-hole course today at Adventure Golf Center at 56th and Old Cheney.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Ortega connoisseur, Jake Bakoven.
I like Ortega, and I like pepper.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach.
Hey, listen, I'm a big fan. Whenever that song would come on, I would find myself on TV watching. But nonetheless, that is not the case. You are not watching WWE. You are not watching any of the wrestling federations at this point. We are on the block here live at the Mercato at Certified Piedmontese on 84th and Havelock. That's where we're at right now until 6 p.m. today. Tremendous specials going on. Again, the burgers are juicy. They melt in your mouth. They are wonderfully tasted and seasoned. Come out, hang out with us. Check us out right here on the block. It is the block party, the 5 o'clock hour here on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. A lot going on right now on the block. A lot going on. And one of the things that popped into my mind on the block is this. Tim Legler. I played with him. We're both fellow lefties. Played in my same era.
Good
Spent some
three-point
time.
shooter, right?
Good 3-point shooter. Spent some time out in D.C. Tim Legler, he put something out in the atmosphere, the sphere, whatever you want to call it right now. And it was, I'm not going to say troubling, but it was interesting. It was an interesting comment. Tim Legler basically said this. He said that the Brooklyn experiment of Harden, Durant, Irving will actually go down in history as the league's greatest failure of all time.
Ooh.
Starter Heyman text line, the block is hot, 402-464-5685. Do you agree with Tim Legler on that statement? I venture to say something different. I think Bach may have another answer for you. Stricky, early break is in the house. They may even pop in at some point. Jake Sorensen may even pop in. We've got people that may tap in on this subject because it's the block party. I have a thought about it. What do you think about it? Tell us right now on the block.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what people think because there are a lot of problems, I suppose, that have been over the history of the NBA trying to put together these super teams. I do think that this one's pretty close. I mean, they did not play at full strength the first season under it. Kevin Durant, if his foot hadn't been so long, maybe they would have beat Milwaukee. So it's not like they didn't have any success with it. It's just they didn't have any success with it on the court at the same time. So it's kind of interesting to kind of break down. Then, of course, this year they added James Harden. So when you just take James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant into the equation, it was interesting because when the team got together, we all kind of thought there's not enough ball there, right? So that might not work. But at the same time, those are three of the top 10 players in the league. That's the best, highest end talent in the league, obviously. And to get swept in the, and trade James Harden for Ben Simmons and the mess that they have there, to get swept by the Celtics, and just the fact that they had Irving, Harden, and Durant, and then less than a year later, they might end up with just Ben Simmons. That might be the greatest. I mean, that has to be up there with the greatest collapses of all time. So I'd probably say it's number one, but I would say this. I'll throw this one out there that I think of. And, of course, we all love the late, great Kobe Bryant. But toward the latter half of his Lakers career, when they added Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, the similar thought was with the Brooklyn Nets there was kind of, okay, that's three of the top 10 players in the league. Unfortunately, by then Nash was kind of
on his way
past
out,
his playing days. Certainly Howard had seen better days. We didn't know it at the time, but that certainly was the case. He kind of redeemed himself as a role player coming back and winning with LA. But that's what I would compare that to. Maybe up there is 1 and 2. 1A and 1B, I suppose, my biggest failures in league history as far as putting a super team together.
Well, on my trip out of town, East Stricky played a little poker. And in the game of poker, I see your 25K and I raise you 25K because I venture to say this. I think you're wrong.
Uh-oh.
And here's why. Starter Heyman text line, get hot, 402-464-5685. East Stricky is coming on the block hot. I'm coming in hot. This is what I feel. The worst debacle in NBA history. Some of y'all may not like it. You may think Stricky is bugging. He's wilding right now. But here it is. Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis.
Going after the Lakers.
And you also throw in Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, that to me is the greatest debacle in NBA history. And I don't even think there's a 1A and 1B. I think that's
That's just the one.
That's just the one.
So let us know what you guys think of the text line, 402-464-5685, because those are certainly right up there. Claytonio John says, I enjoyed them losing more than winning. He's talking about the Nets. KD is a joke. Now wants to quit and join another championship team like he did with Golden State. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of hate on KD if he does join one of the front runners again.
Where does he end up?
Yeah.
Starter Hammond text line. Where do you think KD ends up?
Yeah. Also,
I want to hear.
I think all y'all's daddy brought it in and said, I blame it on bringing Jay-Z into management. Can't bring too many attitudes and personalities on one team. Fair enough, I suppose. Maybe Jay-Z gets some hate. Let's bring in Mike Melby of Husker Rewind. Also here in a little bit, a very patriotic Jake Sorensen of early break. But Melby, let's start with you. Do you have a biggest bust as far as super teams of all time?
I like Strickland's answer there. And by the way, Eastrick, you clean up well.
Thank you, sir.
You really do. You look sharp.
I appreciate that. I try.
Yeah.
I have to work at. See, guys, pretty boys like early break guys like Sipple and Jake Sorensen.
Yeah.
Those guys, the pretty boys, man, they just walk in the room. The air just starts to part ways, and it's like Moses and the sea parts, and all the women just looking at him. You know what I mean? I have to work at it, man. I have to, dress it up and, maybe even put on a little makeup. No, I'm just playing.
Didn't you say Halle Berry was interested at one point? I think you're selling yourself.
Thank you, Mike Melby. I do appreciate that, brother.
You're welcome.
Jake Sorensen, tell us on the block, man. Can we hear Jake?
I can't hear Jake. I don't know. We'll see if we can hear him here. No,
You're not audible.
No. Check. No. Okay.
Hey, listen, I don't care. I need to hear Jake Sorensen. I would be quiet for a second because I'm not changing my mind. When I'm on the block, I do not change my mind. I'm keeping it real, and I'm telling you how it TI is. That's the way I'm going down. Jake, talk to us.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Hey,
All
right.
on the block.
Not too loud though.
The block party. Thanks for joining us.
I'm here, guys. It's good to be here. Melby, good to see you as well.
Nice to see you, Jake.
So you're talking about the bust here all the time. I mean,
all time. Super team.
How could you deny what Strick just said? I mean, this whole disaster with the Lakers with LeBron and Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook forgot how to play basketball this year. He was painful to watch. I don't know, Strick. You played in the league for so long. Have you ever seen a guy that just lost his talent? Because his shooting was so outrageously bad. It wasn't just 3-pointers. It was layups. It was from the elbow. The guy was shooting over the backboard at times. I don't know if he was just messing with us or if he had some sort of out-of-body experience. I don't know what happened.
We got punked.
I think we got punked.
Yeah. So
what was that?
No, you want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Let me let you in on a secret. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Didn't LeBron James release a show called Finding the Dollars or something like that? What was the name of that movie? I don't know. It didn't really do very well. But
we did Space Jam.
Space Jam 2. He wasn't Michael Jordan related. He thought he was the GOAT and didn't do well. But anyway, maybe it was Bugs Bunny took his talent like they did. You're playing with the guy that it was Bugs Bunny and the guys that took the talent of the players, but maybe it was LeBron James that he was playing with that took it. I don't know. I think that's probably what it was.
It was the biggest disaster ever.
Here's my argument against that. Is one minus Russell Westbrook, they did win the Mickey Mouse Championship there. So maybe you can put an asterisk next to it, but that was minus Russell Westbrook. So when you add Russell Westbrook, I get that that's what you're saying. That's the big bust here. I don't know how many of us saw them as front runners as opposed to where the Nets were. Certainly it was thought Nets-Lakers final before the season. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Nets were on an elevated level compared to where the Lakers were. Now the Lakers didn't make the playoffs, but the Nets got swept.
I will let you tap in on that first.
I just want to say you say that they weren't front runners. Go back to before game 1 with that team that was put together. The Lakers were a front runner. They were one of they were the team coming out of the West. There was no question. So that's where I during the season, you're like, okay, the one wheel fell off. Oh wow, there's a lug nut. Oh, there's another wheel. Okay, wow, they just hit the wall. Oh, there's 30 games left. You already knew it was going to be a disaster and a dumpster fire. It's what it turned into because of Russell Westbrook. But I disagree with it that they were not front runners because I think they were day one.
Yeah. I think they were according to Vegas and all that stuff. So I understand what you're saying. I guess
he's a Laker fan, bro. He's a homer.
Not. Do not ever call me a Laker fan, please. You can call me an Iowa fan. You can call me a Texas fan, but do not call me a Laker fan. I just think that at least for me, when I saw Russell Westbrook added to that mix, I didn't think it elevated, and I think a lot of people kind of thought the same thing. But it was the same thing with the Nets, right? Like there's too much ball on either of these teams, but somehow that talent's got to rise to the top. I just never bought in, I guess, was probably part of maybe my my takeaway from that.
Fair enough.
Go ahead.
I don't know. The whole net situation was weird. I mean, Kevin Durant is still a great player. He had injuries, of course, which hurt. And then James Harden is now in Philadelphia, and that just didn't work out for them either. It's bizarre. I mean, see, my problem when you have three superstars is they all got to touch the ball. How do you keep everybody happy? Like in Miami, it worked. LeBron and Bosh and Wade were all superstars, but they all understood their role.
They kind of complemented each other's games.
Like Chris Bosh never needed to be the guy. And he was great. His role, he was perfect because he knew he could still get a bunch of points, get rebounds, but he understood I'm not the star. I was a star in Toronto. I'm really good, but I am here to complement D Wade and LeBron, and it worked. And they made 4 straight finals, won 2 of those, but that worked. They got the message. I don't think it ever worked in terms of what the equation was for success in Brooklyn. Those guys, or LA.
I also want to throw in down in Miami, they don't win 2 if they don't have Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen saved him. He saved him one time.
Against the Spurs,
Yes.
Well, Bosh had the rebound to make that happen.
Yes. Yes. So that is one for me that he became their savior for them.
Isn't that funny that in LeBron's career that Kyrie Irving and Ray Allen has hit the biggest shots in LeBron's career?
Of his championship.
It is what happened so far.
Let's be real. One championship, and I forget the year. It hasn't hit me, but one of those championships, LeBron was absolutely stunning. I'm going to give him absolute credit for the way that he played in that in one of those championship games where he just dominated.
Well, when they won in Cleveland,
it
was simply all him.
Yes.
And a bunch of guys that literally were told, you can dribble the ball 7 times in the entire game. That's it. And they went, absolutely. Yeah. And they were getting ready to dribble the ball for the 8th time. They're like, nope. And they give it to LeBron.
That was before the Kyrie and Kevin Love.
Yep.
That's when they got, oh yeah, and back in 2006 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But there was also the year that Kyrie and Kevin got hurt, and he was like, I think he extended to either Game 6 or Game 7 with like Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah, very true.
It was very difficult. And Andre Iguodala won a Finals MVP by holding LeBron to like 35, 16, and 11 or something like that. They're just like that's how much they that they credited for shutting down LeBron, is he had like outstanding numbers, but they're still like, well, without Iguodala, this guy would have went for like 40, 20, and 15.
Yeah. So I mean that's what it comes down to. I think that's one of the ones that I would say, but let's go back into the past. I mean, there's some teams out there in the past that I think I would look to as well. One that I would think about would be the Charles Barkley.
Phoenix.
Houston. Mm-hmm. Scottie Pippen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
The Drexler one. Yeah. I would throw that one in the mix. I mean, I would say that'd be in my top 5. That would be one of the ones if we kind of
they were competitive in the playoffs at least, but they never broke through.
Yeah,
right?
That would be one of the ones that I would throw into the mix that would kind of get a little smell on. Is there any in the butt?
Yeah.
I think you could even throw Houston out there again too when they had
Chris Paul and James Harden.
Yeah,
it didn't work out. They were okay. They weren't bad.
Yeah. Anything else, Melby?
No.
I think adding Karl Malone and Gary Payton to Shaq and Kobe was thought to be a done deal before the Pistons came by.
Do you think the sweep of the Orlando Magic with the Big Four, Penny, Nick Anderson, 3D, and Penny Hardaway and Shaq, that group? Do you think that's one of the ones that you would say came up short?
It's not as bad as the one with the Nets and the current Nets and the Lakers, but they came up short.
At least those guys were drafted.
Start a Hammond text line. Help us out if you got something that you want to throw out there. I want to look back a little bit. I mean, definitely in the present. That's the way I feel. I mean, I still think that's one. And I don't have a 1A and 1B. That's the way I'm going with.
What could you go back to the early 2000s where the Kings fell short with Sacramento? They had Weber and Bibby, and they had Stojakovic, and Doug Christie. That was a good team.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that was a star. It wasn't LeBron and Bosh and Wade, but they were a team that was really good that faltered when it mattered most.
Well, the NBA officials made them falter in Game 7.
Vlade Divac.
I can't even fault those Utah Jazz teams with what they had because they ran into a buzzsaw. Michael Jordan was just at that point, there's nothing you can do. Just puffy, take that. That's all you could do is take it. But so I won't fault those teams. Okay, let's throw it the other way. Who had the most promising wins with just it's a small amount of help and talent? And I'm going to throw one out to you. Ready?
Yeah.
2011 Dallas Mavericks. I think Dirk was absolutely.
Go back to 06 with Dwayne Wade. I mean, Shaq was there, but Dwayne Wade averaged like 35, 36 points in the finals.
Yeah.
I mean, he was incredible, and Shaq was still good, but he wasn't the Shaq we knew in LA.
Right.
But I think he carried them big time over the Mavericks in that series. Lost the first 2 games, won the last 4 to win that series.
I was at that game.
4-2.
I was at that game in Miami that they came back. And that changed the whole.
He averaged 36 points a game in that series, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Shaq
only averaged like 20.
Yeah, he was. He was fine, but he wasn't the same.
I was mad. I almost went to the locker room and was like, just suited up so I could throw a bow in his chest to keep him from just doing what he was doing. But go ahead.
What about the Pistons in 02, 3, 4, whatever it was when they beat the Lakers?
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, I mean, you had
Rip
Chauncey
Hamilton.
Billups and you had
Rasheed Wallace,
Rip
and
Hamilton.
True.
Rip, and
Deshaun Prince, but no superstars, just stars.
They were. Yeah, but
Right.
but there's not a guy that you're going to go on any of them.
Yeah.
Are they a top 50 guy?
There's no MVP.
No.
Yeah.
Is
And they
there
got
any
it
of them
done.
at MVP? Yeah, they got it done.
Yeah. Would you say it was defense that got it done for them, or it was just big
They were-
shots? Because they hit
it was
big
Mr.
shots.
Big Shot with Chauncey, man.
Yeah.
And
Chauncey.
defensive player of the year. I mean, they had both of them.
Yeah.
I remember some of those playoff games ending like 72-68.
The Chuck
I know
Daly-
they played some defense.
That's the Chuck Daly way right there.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty, but he got him.
Interesting.
Got it done.
Any others that kind of come? Sauter Heyman text line, is it hot? Anybody?
Trying to think who else recently would have been. Yeah, you're right. You said Dirk. The Dirk in 11 was certainly that was huge.
That was phenomenal.
huge.
And what I thought was awesome about 11 is because Baron Davis and Steven Jackson and that Golden State team, their goal was to punk Dirk. Like their whole strategy was to get in his face, talk crazy to him, hit him with bows, tell him they were going to beat his A. That was their whole goal, was to really just go after Dirk and to punk him in that specific situation. And it worked. And I think the lesson he learned from that, being a top seed and losing to the 8th seed, it made him who he was for 11.
Here's a really good one from Wet Blanket. Remember Melo, PG, and Westbrook on the Thunder. Super high expectations, still managed to get knocked out in the first round without ever really looking as good as they should have.
Yep.
That looked just like the Lakers to me. That whole debacle. I mean, obviously Westbrook was doing crazy numbers.
Yeah.
Triple doubles all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Melo was trying to figure out a way to survive being a bench player instead of a starter. That's what really kind of brought that was a low point in Melo's career.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. Also,
well, how about okay? You asked about one-man wrecking crews. What could you say? Was Giannis that way last year for the Bucks? Or I mean, Middleton was solid.
I would put him up there.
Look at last year.
I would say
you had Devin Booker and Chris Paul for the Suns, which are a two-man wrecking crew there. But Giannis was the guy. Giannis was the easy, clear MVP last season. Was averaging. You got some games in 30s and 40s last in the finals
when it counted.
Yeah, because Middleton was fine and Holiday's fine, but that's the Giannis show.
It's not a super team.
That's not a super team.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So listen, hit us up. Tap in on the Sauter Heyman text line. Great stuff, because this is the block party on the block. We're here live at the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese on 84th and Havelock. We'll be here probably for another 30 minutes. We got to take a break right now. Come down, say hello, join the block party. We'll be right back. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Tap in right after this.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast today, we'll see a chance of scattered showers and storms throughout the day. Highs a little bit cooler, around 82. Tonight, see another chance of scattered showers and storms with a low of around 65. And tomorrow, more scattered showers and storms return to the area. We'll see a high of around 84. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckman for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. We are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Beatrice Bakery. They ship cakes all over the country. True story. But take a look inside their shop and you'd have no idea. This is a Nebraska product through and through. Not some massive production plant. Local people making delicious cake just for you. So go see them in their new storefront location in downtown Beatrice. Grab some grandma's fruit cake, some chocolate rum cake, or my favorite, the turtle nut cake. And say hi to Rick and the crew. Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the block party here on the block, and where better to do that than live from the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. You got about half an hour to jump on this deal. Buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend Hamburger Patties. Will be the talk of your 4th of July get-together. The offer is only good until 6, so make it down here as quick as you can. Of course, obey all traffic laws and stuff like that, but there's a good deal going on, so come by and check it out. Melby, you were able to make it here pretty quickly. You got any big 4th of July plans coming up?
You know, I do. I'm going to relax all weekend and watch my neighbors blow up a lot of money.
There you go.
I used to be the guy that won the block. My dad was the mayor in Waverly, and the fireworks stands out there, before they made pretty much everything legal in Nebraska.
Yeah.
They still bought a whole boatload of stuff. And what they could not legally sell, some of it found its way to my dad's house, and some of that found its way to my house.
Oh.
And so we used to do.
You were the kings of Waverly then.
I lived in Lincoln at the time, but I still kidnapped some of the fireworks from Dad. And we would do shows that would last 3.5 hours.
Wow.
Like we would literally start about 8:30 with some of the stuff that wasn't really big and all that, just to get through all of it. Our neighbors one year told me, the guy comes over at about 11:45. We just finished up doing what we were doing. And he's like, that's it. I quit. He goes, I absolutely quit. I spent $3,700 down in Missouri 2 weeks ago trying to top your show. He goes, how the hell do you guys do this? And I was like, well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret on how much money I spent.
Oh, yeah. A little more than his? Oh, nothing. Yeah, you got
Well, yeah, because I got it all for free.
$3.99?
$3.99. And so we also did some really insane stuff where we would tie wicks together and light them. So we'd send up artillery shells, take 4, but we'd send artillery shells up and we'd tie the wicks together. And so you'd get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them going up at a time. We'd tape them together so 4 could go, and we'd have 2 people lighting, so 8 at a time. So
so you really put on a show there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fun fireworks story that ended kind of bad. Not horrible because the house did not totally burn down. I was announcing at Eagle Raceway, and we were known for having a really good fireworks show.
Sure.
And it was set to music. I would choreograph all the music, and I go to the fireworks guy the first year, and I'm like, do you want me to try to, make sure everything syncs up? And he's like, you never will. Trust me, there will be a couple dozen times throughout a 20-minute show that it's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
A big cymbal crash or whatever is going to go right when a big one goes up. Just trust me. So 97, our first year, was fantastic. 98 was better. 99, we have like the I Challenge Greg guy or somebody, a sports guy from Channel 8 comes out, races one of our IMC modifieds, blows the rear end out of it. So the track owner has to literally buy the rear end for the car, because that was the deal we made. If we let him use the guy's car, anything that breaks, we'll pay for it.
Right.
So that was a pretty hefty little bill. Well, then we had the parachutists for the anthem, and the guy nails it. When he lands, it's literally on the last note of the anthem. It's like the greatest thing ever. We have one of the best nights of racing we had. We had one horrible wreck from the look of it. Everybody walked away, but it was sprint cars. There's like 4 cars flipping everywhere. And then we finish it off with the best fireworks show that we had. Small problem. One of the shells went a little left at Albuquerque and landed on the deck of the gentleman that lived immediately north of the racetrack.
Yeah.
And it started his deck on fire and the siding on the back of the house.
Oh.
So the whole night's over.
When did you guys see it?
What the fire department guys saw it almost immediately. Because we
that's their job.
That house is literally 100 yards from the pit area at Eagle Raceway. So, well, what are you showing off there?
I don't know, but it looks
like
delicious.
some jerky or salami or
perhaps some
meat.
salami.
I don't know, but it looks
We're definitely
great.
gonna try it. It looks good. There's a lot of stuff good out here from the Mercato by certified Piedmontese. That's a scary story, but it turned out okay.
It turned out at the end of the night. Craig Cormack, who owned the track, we were all kind of employees standing up on the deck, and we were all exhausted. It's been a long day, long weekend. And he holds his beer up and he goes, "I want to make a toast. Perfect anthem. Couldn't have done it any better. I now own another race car because we blew one up. Had one of the best nights of racing, just from a racing standpoint ever. Had a fantastic crowd, and we started a house on fire.
Oh my God.
Greatest night ever."
That's the goal there, I think, for the 4th of July.
Yep.
So that's awesome. I'm sure you guys on Husker Rewind and Tom Stevens will be joining you on Sunday.
Actually, this Sunday we're off because of the 4th.
Oh, yeah.
And so we'll be back next Sunday. And Tom wanted me to share a real quick story. He was with B107. They were doing Set the Night to Music for the fireworks show at Holmes Lake, with the dam.
Sure,
they do fireworks there way back in the 90s. And, I want to say it was 90 or 91. They did not set the night to music as much as they set the dam on fire. So the whole side of Holmes Lake Dam was on fire because of the fireworks.
Well, that would be an entertaining year as well. I don't know if you hope for disaster, but you certainly take advantage of it when you see it.
I was on the south side of the lake, and I enjoyed the show. I really did.
It gets a little more interesting that way. I'm sure, though, what I was going to say is you guys in Husker Rewind will probably, 2 weeks from now, talk about something that's been going on as far as conference realignment.
Yep.
How about the sunny days of California ahead? USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten.
You look like a Californian too.
A little bit. I've actually been told that, and I'll be in Florida next week. So I love it. I've said for a while, I may have said it with you guys a month or so ago. I'm burn college football down, blow the conferences up, make super conferences. I don't care. Let it go. Pay the players. Enjoy what's going on. With the realignment that happened with USC and UCLA coming to the Big Ten, I think it's a race to 20 between the Big Ten and the SEC. Notre Dame's in play. So you got to think the Big Ten is going to get Notre Dame at some point. And then it's what other 3 schools do you want? Do you want a Kansas for the basketball, but a football pancake? Or do you want to simply go after the best football schools
North Carolina,
out there?
I think you get
North Carolina from
balance.
the ACC. Do you go after Oregon? Do you go after Washington? Do you go after Stanford?
Miami.
To me, Stanford, Miami's a great one.
That's a great one.
But, all bets are
I
off,
would be
man.
on that game.
Yeah. It's coast to coast now. It's border to border.
Yeah.
I don't care where they're from, if they're going to join the Big Ten, but I think to me, it's going to be a race to 20, and the Big Ten is going to be the 16 that will be here in 2024, plus Notre Dame and
North Dakota State.
Possible. You never know.
Maybe Southeast Community College over here
Right.
can get into the group. There's a lot to be seen with that. And the latest reports, it sounds like Oregon and Washington are in waiting to see what Notre Dame does. Basically, Oregon and Washington want to join the Big Ten. Notre Dame, like you said, the Big Ten's been trying to get Notre Dame for decades. And so maybe finally, with all that's going on, they can finally grab them.
They need the money.
The other report is that if Notre Dame joins,
Notre Dame's broke.
I don't know if I don't know if they're going to 20 right away. They might pause a bit at 18. I think you're right. Eventually, expansion continues. But one of the reports I saw is that if Notre Dame joins, they would take Oregon, but perhaps not Washington at this time.
I would see that.
Still
because
surprised.
there's big money in Oregon. Go ahead.
I agree. I'm still surprised Stanford has not been part of the conversation with their academic prowess. How are you not in the Big Ten with the way the world is today?
Right. Yeah, Stanford makes sense. I don't know if any of the Big 12 teams at this point make a whole lot of sense. It's kind of sad for Nebraska in that way that all this expansion is happening and you'd think there'd be a rekindling of an old rival there. But there's just doesn't seem enough brand power among Kansas State, Iowa State, Colorado. Missouri, which is obviously in the SEC, might be the only one the Big Ten was at one time interested in, which actually sparked Nebraska going to the Big Ten. It's because it looked like the Big 12 was going to fall apart and Missouri was going to do it. Then Nebraska's like, well, yeah, but they're more interested in us, so let's do it. Which is interesting.
Well, you think back a decade ago, actually, 12 years now, and I remember watching the Regents meeting, I believe is what it was, where they took the vote and you had various regents and TO was there and the student body president was there in the meeting saying why we need to move to the Big Ten. And it just reminds me a little bit of watching old videos of TO at halftime of the Miami game. He's kind of laying out what's going to happen. And he's telling you Warren Sapp's going to, start talking and just don't retaliate. Lo and behold, it's a huge play because one of the Peter brothers doesn't retaliate. And 12 years ago, hey, this may not be it. I think this is going to put us in the best position long run. And I'm not talking long run 5 to 10 years. I'm talking long run.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, here we are. If we would have still been in the Big 12, we would be panicked right now.
We would be quite worried, especially considering the record, because I think traditionally Nebraska's brand would get them by either way, but it went in a downturn. This is a tough time to be struggling. Like Arizona right now, Arizona's had some years where they're pretty good here and there. But recently, they've not been able to win a game, and so they do not look very valuable whatsoever.
The Ticket's own Stephen M. Sipple, who also writes for On3, interviewed Trev Alberts this morning, wrote an article about it, and in it, Trev said that it makes him unbelievably proud, and he sits up in his chair a little bit more at the Big Ten meetings when they talk about the most watched, the most anything that has to do with fans. Even though we have not been stellar or even average on the court or on the football field the last few years, our fans are insane. They tune into everything. They're dedicated, and hopefully they finally get some reward for all of the patience that they've shown and all of the passion that they have for the programs.
Yeah, I thought that was a great article.
That is
too.
a great article.
You should check that out if you haven't, because there's a lot that goes on in there. It's just fascinating to see where, as the world turns, basically, what the next move is in conference realignment. I do think too that it helped when Nebraska moved. That T.O. was a part of it, because I think there would be this natural reaction from a lot of fans to say, similar to what you're seeing now with UCLA and USC fans, where I see, John wouldn't approve of this, or all this sort of thing, because they've been in the Pac-12 so long. Well, Nebraska was in the Big 8 for just as long. Used to be the Big 6 or whatever, but without T.O. at the head of it, I think there would have been a lot more pushback from Nebraska fans.
Strick, you grew up in Omaha. You know Husker football. You know the legacy, et cetera. What do you think Bob Devaney would be saying right now, looking at the landscape of college football? Would he be throwing a party, or would he be saying, I can't believe we're doing this?
I would say that Bob Devaney would have been a purist. I think he would have been a purist. I think the great crossover was Tom, because he was visionary. Devaney was about handling business, getting it done, and drawing the ire to us. That's what it seemed to me. It would be like the ire come to us. So he would be for expanding the Big 8.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going nowhere. Come here. Come holler at us. That would kind of be, he would be purist in that standpoint. Whereas I think that Tom was able to take some of that purity that Bob had with a little vision, and was able to culminate it together to be able to see the direction of the expanse and why it made sense for us to be able to tap in. That's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it.
Off the text line, we have a text in that says, I'm gung-ho for this new era with NIL. It really is just another pro football league. Might as well act like it. And I think that's definitely where it's heading. Let's take a quick break here on the block. We're live from Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th in Havelock. You got 15 minutes to make it down here. 16, actually. 15 and counting, I suppose, for this offer here. Buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties. The offer is only good until 6, so make it down here pretty quickly. Come by and check it out. They also have an incredible variety of meats, including seafood. But we'll take our last break. We'll round out the block party, get you into your 4th of July weekend. Coming up next here on the block on 93.7 The Ticket.
On Time Transport in Lincoln says, stay safe this Independence Day by keeping parties off of our roads. Avoid talking, texting, and speeding. And don't forget, buzz driving is still driving under the influence and can lead to trouble or grief. This safety message from On Time Transport. For more information, call 402-328-9082 or visit them online at ottlincoln.com. On Time Transport, reminding you that when you're behind the wheel, let's give our truckers some room on the road and have a safe, happy July 4th holiday.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. We are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
The new 18-hole course is now open at Adventure Golf Center. You knew them before for their 36 holes, and now experience a brand new style of miniature golf with par 3s, 4s, and 5s. It's a new concept to the Midwest with holes longer than before and unique hazards throughout the course. And it's fun for golfers of all ages and skill levels. Plus, there's a bar on the course that serves alcohol. Try the new 18-hole course today at Adventure Golf Center at 56th and Old Cheney.
Pillar Restaurant Group is proud to announce the full opening of our brick-and-mortar venue-at-home store, Lincoln's new premier specialty grocers. This store is home to our brand new Butchery by Venue. Get the finest Nebraska steaks, hand-cut in-house by our butcher, prepared for our restaurants, and available for you to take home. With hand-selected specialty seafood, charcuterie, wine, bourbon, and liquor options. Come in today to see what we have to offer at 70th and Pioneers in the Pioneer Woods Shopping Center. Open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Coppell talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at coppellcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We got Strick dancing here on the block party on the block as we have one final segment before we hit the 4th of July weekend. Of course, Mike Melby's here from Husker Rewind as well, which is on Sundays, but not this Sunday, as we all have the 4th of July weekend to celebrate here. And Strick wanted to give you a holiday present as we walk away. We're talking about conference expansion here, of course, with UCLA and USC joining the Big Ten. And it's kind of got our thoughts reminiscing or thinking about things that we never actually watched, which is to go way back. So Nebraska, of course, was in the Big 12 before the Big 10, the Big 8 before the Big 12, the Big 6 before the Big 8, in the Missouri Valley Conference before the Big 6. We're not going to go all the way back to the Missouri Valley Conference because Nebraska, actually, as I'm reading it, left the Missouri Valley Conference in 1918 to play as independent for 2 seasons before returning in 1920. So
we were the original Notre Dame.
Fun little tidbit there, yeah. And then at a meeting in Lincoln, Nebraska on May 19th, 1928, the Missouri Valley Conference split up. 6 of the 7 state schools would form together to make the Big 6 conference. And so that's what we need here is you to call in. If you call in and give us the 6 teams that were a part of the Big 6, which obviously includes Nebraska. So give us the other 5 teams. You will get a signed Eric Strickland, an autographed Eric Strickland basketball card.
Yeah.
Or baseball card. You got any baseball cards?
Those
are few and
those
far
are
between.
premium.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Basketball card. If you can give us the other 5 teams in the original Big 6 that Nebraska was a part of. And just kind of think back to Nebraska's old conference and maybe you can figure it out.
How about this? For extra credit, you just get a pat on the back. You also, if you can tell us the conference champion that year and their record.
We'll have to look that one up. The first year of the Big 6.
I already know it. So
oh, you do?
I already looked it up.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Yeah. I wonder who dominated the Big 6 throughout those
Sutter
years.
Hammond text line's hot. 402-464-5685 if you know it.
So that's we're having some fun with the giveaway before the end of the show. Like we said, just a great time. You might, unless you're 10 minutes away, you're probably not going to get the buy one, get one free on Steakhouse Blend hamburger patties. But if you are 10 minutes away, rush in here and come and get that deal, as that's great here. We're out at the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese at 84th in Havelock. Even if you don't get that deal, come stock up for your 4th of July barbecue or get together, because this is the place to be. People will ask you, hey, where'd you get that stuff? That's delicious.
I've got mine. You better get yours.
Yeah, we're all going to leave with a bag from the Mercato today. Before we get to the end of the show, I did want to bring up a few interesting things. First of all, again, happy Bobby Bonilla Day, as Bobby Bonilla collects his $1.19 million that he's going to collect every year until 2035.
I was going to say he's got like 13 years left.
Yeah, so
nice.
That's a good deal.
Great retirement plan.
Yeah.
Allen Iverson's about to come close to getting his too.
Is he doing something like that?
Remember, he had that deal with Reebok.
Oh, that
was going to pay him, I think, $50 million or something, or it was an increased interest that was put in for $50 million or something like that. And once he hits 50, I think it gets released.
He put something, a big payout at the end of the day. Did you ever think about setting a future contract for yourself?
Gosh,
yeah,
darn it.
It's kind of interesting. Melby, did you ever think about a future contract yourself?
I'm just happy to wake up in the morning these days. So
yeah, there you go. You didn't have the athletic prowess quite of Strick here to set that up. Also, interesting enough, today we've seen all these signings and trades in the NBA, and of course, the big one being Rudy Gobert sent over to Minnesota. Also, Malcolm Brogdon sent over to the Celtics. So those are kind of the big ones today. Another thing that's kind of interesting, a guy that you played with, I believe, Strick, there's something known as the Charlie Ward curse. Do you know what the Charlie Ward curse is?
Is it a football-related curse?
It's a basketball-related curse.
What is that?
The Charlie Ward curse has been broken today by Mitchell Robertson. He's the first Knicks draft pick to get a second contract with the team since Charlie Ward did it in 1999.
Wow.
That's how bad the Knicks have drafted.
Well, I was going to say, I knew it had to do with the Knicks, but that's interesting.
So, good luck for the Knicks. And after he does that, by the way, while he does that, I guess Mitchell Robertson, a solid rim protector. They signed Jalen Brunson, so I don't think the Knicks are going to be interesting. So while we try to give him a shout out for finally breaking the curse, also I don't know if they're going over 500 the next 3 years.
New York, New York. Oh, how thou have fallen.
Yes, very, very. Very sad, I guess. And it's interesting to see, too, the Lakers.
You don't mind it, Boston.
I don't mind it. I love seeing the Knicks fail. I love seeing the Nets fail. And I love seeing the Celtics in the finals. Hopefully, Brogdon, as a playmaking point guard, will be that kind of key missing piece. They also are looking to add Danilo Gallinari as well. So I think they're fortifying that bench to help out a little bit. I think that's good news for the Celtics. The Lakers are interesting because they keep coming up. Like, we thought they're all buried with Russell Westbrook, right, for a few years. They keep coming up in these trade talks, though, that maybe they can put a package together to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant or something like that. So it'll be interesting. You'd think they'd have to send AD back.
The interesting one for me is what's going to happen with Malik Monk. That's what
he signed somewhere, didn't he?
I haven't seen, but
I think he signed somewhere today. Not the Lakers, but they signed like a few other guys. But yeah, Malik Monk was like their third leading scorer this year.
If I was going to do anything with Westbrook, I would have done some form of sign a trade to just be able to unload Westbrook.
That contract, yeah.
And then, but the problem is, most likely you're not going to unload a 1-for-1. So you're probably going to have to take back. You don't have the next draft pick you have is what, 2028?
Yeah, they already gave away all their draft picks, so they're not
or something like that. So you can unload a 1-for-1. You're better off to hold him, unload that 47+ million, and then unfortunately you're going to lose Malik Monk, and then just hopefully you'll be able to rebuild.
They did. Yeah. 2-year deal with the Kings announced a couple hours ago.
Yeah. There you go. The Kings keep building a little bit. I would love to see the Kings win again, but it's been a while for that. Once again, we're at the Mercato by Certified Piedmontese, as we'd like to thank them for inviting On the Block out here. Once again, we'd like to thank Mike Melby of Husker Rewind for joining us out here, as well as Jake Sorensen of Early Break for the Block Party. We love to do it every week. That'll wrap up the show. Everybody have a safe holiday weekend. Have fun, but not too much fun on the 4th of July. For myself, Jake Bachman, Eric Strickland, the Husker Hall of Famer, longtime NBA vet. Take it easy. We'll talk to you on Tuesday, since Monday is the holiday. But so long. Have a safe weekend from On the Block.
See you.